Like most people, you may believe the idea that there's an external power that has decided your life circumstances and that your fate is already written out and is final. This may make the world appear to you as very real, solid, and unchangeable, making you feel very powerless and resigned to your circumstances, believing that you don't have any power whatsoever over how your life pans out. My friend, I'm here to let you know that you are not alone in this type of thinking. I too was tormented by the same thoughts. But after I discovered the mirror principle and how to use it, a whole new reality was opened up for me. One in which I get to deliberately and cautiously participate in the unfolding of my life. And I believe that after you understand the mirror principle and how to use it, you will be able to realize your innate power and your ability to create the life that you desire. So in this video today, I'll be talking about the mirror principle and how to use it. If this is something that you're interested in, please stay tuned and let's delve right in. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cynthia, and on this channel I talk about metaphysics, psychology, and everything in between. As mentioned earlier, in today's video I'll be talking about the mirror principle, how it works, and how you can use it. But before I begin, I would like to request you to please support this channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. That will be very helpful. Thank you. Let's jump right in. Simply put, the mirror principle explains the fact that reality is a mirror that reflects your most dominant thoughts and emotions. It reflects two things: your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world. If you look at yourself and you believe you're not good enough, the mirror will reflect that, and everything in your world will unfold in a way that solidifies that conviction that you're not good enough. Your reflection or your reality keeps confirming whatever you're forming by your thoughts and emotions. Similarly, your worldview, whatever it is, say for example, right now is not the best time to start a business, or it's not the best time to go back to school. Well, guess what? Those same thoughts will be reflected into your reality. You might find that you will fail to raise the capital to start your business, or you will fail to raise the necessary amount that you require to go back to school. So the mirror works in a way that it reflects into your reality whatever your most dominant thoughts and emotions are. What most people do when they want to change their reflection, aka their reality, they try and manipulate the mirror instead of changing the image that they are presenting to the mirror, which is themselves. They do this by trying to control the circumstances and people in their reality, usually to no avail. To change your reflection or your reality, you have to start by presenting a different image to the mirror. Become clear about what you want and consciously choose your own identity and paradigm, how you view the world. Here's the profound truth of the mirror principle. Have you ever wondered why the rich get richer and the poor become poorer? Well, it's because the mirror of reality does not reflect the nature of your thoughts. It reflects the purified content of your thoughts. What do I mean? If you keep expressing dissatisfaction about something, it is not the dissatisfaction that is reflected, but the content of your dissatisfaction. So for example, say you say, I hate my bills, I hate these loans, I hate my spouse, I hate my job. It is not the hate that is reflected by the mirror of reality. It is the content of your hate. So you'll find that you'll continue to get more bills, and more things will continue to happen that will put you in debt, and you will continue getting the same kind of spouse, and you'll wonder, why am I attracting the same person over and over again? And of course, you'll only be able to get the kinds of jobs that you hate. So what does this teach you? You have to focus on what you want and not what you don't want. Because more of what you focus on is what is reflected in your reality. And it's also imperative that you express gratitude for the little that you have. For example, say you only have 50,000 shillings in your purse. Express gratitude for that 50,000 shillings and say, wow, my world takes care of me. You see, I have 50,000 shillings. I can't express enough the importance of focusing on what you want and what brings you happiness rather than the opposite. And say you're a person who has been, using the mirror principle, you may be thinking, wait, I've been using the mirror principle even without knowing that it's called the mirror principle, but it never works. Well, here's why the mirror principle sometimes may fail to work. The delay factor of the mirror principle. Have you noticed that in your internal world, you can craft a picture almost instantaneously? You don't believe me? Close your eyes right now and picture yourself as this successful business person having just closed or signed a multi-million deal. If you carried out my little exercise, you will discover that your imagination formed this image effortlessly as if it was happening in the present moment. That is how the fourth and the fifth dimension work. But the physical dimension, the 3D, works with a delay. So it takes a little bit of time because of the gross nature of matter. And it can't violate nature by just making every single thing manifest instantaneously. It takes a little bit of time. So what does this mean? When you make an assumption about your self-view or your worldview, you have to stay with it long enough for it to manifest. When you start to experiment with the mirror principle and you're not patient enough, you will notice your life moving in waves and you'll have many ups and downs. For example, when you decide to believe that your world takes care of you, you have to stay with this assumption long enough for it to solidify in your reality, even when negative situations present themselves. Because if you start entertaining negative thoughts when you notice the assumption taking a long time to manifest, you will erode the good work you would have done. This rumination will cause your mood to deteriorate, and once it's at its lowest, your manifestation will show up. But then your reality will start to reflect your previous negative thoughts and attitudes, and then the manifestation that had presented itself will start to deteriorate as well. So what does this teach? You have to cultivate patience and stay in the assumption and the conviction that what you are assuming will come true eventually. And perhaps this is when I should tell you about the advantage principle. I learned this principle from Vadim Zilan's book, Tufti the Priestess. I'm going to put the book here. Don't let the name of this book fool you. This is a very profound metaphysical book that talks about metaphysical concepts about how the world works and that will change your outlook on reality. I actually highly recommend this book. You should definitely read it. So in his book, Vadim Zilan talks about the the advantage principle. And here is how it works. Whereas before, when something negative happened and you would just let it spoil your mood and let the negative emotions run rampant and erode the good work that you had already done. Now, when something negative occurs in your life, you acknowledge the curveball that has been thrown at you and you exclaim, advantage. And then you look for the positive in the situation, because trust me, there is always a silver lining in every dark cloud. Now I want to talk about some of the few tricks that you can use to get the mirror principle to work for you. I learned these tricks from a few areas, and trust me, I've been implementing these tricks, and trust me, they have really helped me cultivate the power of the mirror principle, and a lot of great things have happened to me because of implementing these tricks. So here they are. The first trick comes from Dr. Bruce Lipton. I'm going to put his picture up here. I was watching one of his interviews, and in the interview he said that one day he was in his laboratory working on something, but it just didn't seem to work out. And as frustration was beginning to build, he had a voice say, "Don't you have something better to do?" So then he put everything down and just went and watched a movie in the middle of the day. Imagine a scientist leaving his laboratory to go and watch a movie in the middle of the day. That stood out so strongly for me, because instead of him festering in negative emotions and in negative thoughts and ruminating, he decided to just leave everything and go get a breather. Ever since I learned that, I've been implementing it. Every single time I catch myself having negative thoughts and ruminating or stuck, I just ask myself, Cynthia, don't you have something better to do? And then I go do the simplest of things that bring me joy. For example, reading a few pages of a book, listening to my favorite bands, or maybe even call a friend, take a walk, clean the house, whatever it is that will bring me joy in that moment. And I find that after doing that or getting immersed in that activity, I get back to whatever it is that I was doing with fresh energy and a fresh mind, and I'm always ready to go again. And so I found that to be very helpful. The second trick I learned from Vadim Zilan in his book, Reality Transurfing. I actually did a video on this book. I was reviewing it. I'm going to link the video up here. Watch this video because I talk about some of the big concepts from the book, and I believe that these concepts can change your outlook on reality. So Vadim Zilan in his book says that when something good happens to you, no matter how small or trivial, use that as a chance to affirm the good in your life. For example, you can say that my world takes care of me. You see, I am loved. You see, every single thing always works out for me in the best ways possible. So for example, if you make or receive money, affirm, you see, my world takes care of me. When you receive a thoughtful text or gift from a loved one, affirm, you see, I am loved. When something that you have been struggling with just seems to work itself out, affirm, you see, everything is always working out for me in the best ways possible. The more you do this, not only are you reprogramming your mind to always seek out the good in every situation, but you're also standing in front of the reality mirror, imaging love, gratitude, and abundance. And guess what is going to be reflected back to you? Of course, more of that. The reality mirror is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Finally, the third trick I learned from Florence Kovoshin from her book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. She says you need to give thanks for the small things, for they are a sign of more to come. And in the book, she said that invariably before any demonstration come signs of land. So she gave an example to illustrate this. She said that before Columbus reached America, he saw buds and twigs, and this showed him that land was near. So instead of getting disappointed because you got less of what you wanted or you didn't get exactly what you wanted, give thanks for what you received because it's just a sign of more to come. So that small amount of money that you have, you need to give thanks for it because it's a sign of more to come. Do you now see how this works? In reality, as in the mirror, you get a reflection of all your mental attitudes and actions. As the message, so the response. What you put out is what you get. Now let's talk about how you can use the mirror principle to get something that you want from someone. Before you start desiring, expecting, and asking something of other people, remember that you're dealing with a mirror. So imagine that you're standing in front of the mirror and ask yourself the question, what must I do for the reflection to meet me halfway? Obviously, you'll have to make the first step. And instead of your usual manner of claiming the larger portion of the cake for yourself, wake up and realize that the reality mirror is simply reflecting your movements. So in order to receive something, you must first give something similar back and replace all your give me's with here, take. And as if by magic, in the mirror, in the reflection, your reality, you will see that you're receiving the same thing that you desired. So for example, say that you want love and kindness. And then imagine yourself in front of the mirror and move in a way that you see that thing that you desire in the reflection. So what am I saying? Do not seek love, radiate love. Do not seek kindness, radiate charm and kindness. Here is something that will put all this in perspective for you. Whom do you find more attractive? The person who loves you or the person that is needy of your love? The person who gives you selflessly or begs you for something? The person that's genuinely interested in you or the one who seeks your attention? Give to others the very thing you would like to receive. But there's a certain type of person that will willingly use your love without giving anything on their part. Stay away from people like that. You do not need them in your life. With that being said, we are still human. And no matter how nice and empowering all that sounds, we sometimes still find ourselves pulled in by the drama of our lives. So let me get into how you can consciously wake up, be present, and remember the mirror principle. Because trust me, in reality, especially when you're sucked in by the reflection, you can easily forget that, wait, you have the power to create. But how do you remember that you have the power? Let's get right into it. Let's now talk about how not to get carried away by your reality and remember the mirror principle. The way you can consciously wake yourself up when you feel like you're being pulled in by the drama of your life is by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. The proposition is that you will learn to respond wisely to whatever happens to you rather than reacting blindly. And that, my friend, is a superpower. One way of practicing mindfulness is through meditation. Meditation allows you to objectively and impartially become aware of your thoughts and emotions. And this level of self-awareness that meditation grants will help you to be able to change your thoughts when you catch yourself drifting off to negativity. And then you will learn to wield this superpower and bend reality at your discretion. In conclusion, when you work with the mirror principle, you will find that a new vista of possibilities will open up for you, as long as you are clear about what you want and are specific about it. I'll leave you with easy stepwise instructions on how you can begin to use the mirror principle today that Cloud Bristol describes in his book, The Magic of Believing. So, number 1, stand in front of a mirror, stand fully erect, bring your heels together, pull in your stomach, keep your chest out and keep your head up, like a soldier coming to attention. Number 2, breathe 3 or 4 times until you feel a sense of power, strength, and determination. Number 3, look into the very depths of your eyes and tell yourself that you're going to get whatever it is that you want. Name it out loud so you can see your lips move and hear the words. Number 4, make a ritual of this. Practice at least twice a day, mornings and evenings. You'll be surprised at the results. Within a few days, you will develop a sense of confidence that you never realized you'll develop within yourself. Remember, as long as you hold on to the mental image of your idea and begin to develop it with action, nothing can stop you from succeeding. The mirror of reality never fails to reflect any order given to it clearly and emphatically. All you have to do is be patient and never waver. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. I'm curious to know. Please remember to support this channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That will be very helpful. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in my next. Bye.